Hello everyone, so today in this video we are going to try to solve one problem on the data analysis on the Kaggle platform, which is Student Stress Survey Exploration. So this is the dataset which is present on the Kaggle platform. I downloaded all this dataset. There are two datasets. One is a survey question meta and survey response. So I already downloaded that. And here you can see different questions. You can see participation response in yes, no. Then you can see interest response in yes, no. And then you can see passion. And at the last you can see the stress. So whether this particular student is under the stress or not. So all are answered in yes, no. Then we have one more dataset called survey responses. In that we have different features. For example, we have a career, we have a nationality, we have house typing. Then we have different questions which answered in numerical format. So these are the two datasets we have. So at first, please spend some time on analyzing these datasets. So I created this notebook which is going to help to answer some of the questions which are present as a problem statement. For example, we have some questions like what are the most important attributes for an ideal student life? What factor leads to stress, more participation, more interaction, and more satisfaction? Does more stress leads to less satisfaction? What factors lead to increased stress among the students? So we are trying to answer this question using simple methods. First, let's import the required libraries. Here we imported NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn. Then load the first dataset. I'm storing the dataset under this dataset folder. So when I load this is the dataset, and I'm first displaying these 5 rows. So you can see different features. Then I'm loading the second dataset, which is survey questions meta. If you see the dataset, the one thing is they have in common is the response ID in the both dataset. And here you can see response ID in both the dataset. So we can merge those dataset because this response ID is belong to first student, second student, and likewise. And we have exactly same number of responses in both the dataset, so we can easily map those. So here you can see we merge these two datasets using pandas concat method. And here you can see we have 2958 rows and 68 columns, and we merge these two datasets on the column. So after first dataset's column, the next dataset's columns are added. Then first we want to find the general information about data points. So here you can see the number of columns and the column names, then data types, then at the end the memory usage, range index. So this is the general information about our dataset. Then if you see, the response ID is repeating 2 times on the 67 and on the 17. What we'll do, we remove that because it is unnecessary. So you can see the response ID is dropped from our dataset. Then we have some features which are answered in numerical, so we can find some statistical information about this. And here you can see when we perform dataset.describe. So this is how we can find the statistical information about our numerical features. So you can see all these features are numerical. You can see the count, mean, standard deviation, minimum value, 25% of the value, 50% value, 75% of value, and the maximum value. Then let's check the missing data. So this is the code, and here you can see there is no missing values. We are good to go. Then we can check the duplicate data. So when I first check the duplicate data, so we got 0. So we don't need to perform these 2 lines because there is no duplicate data. Then we are going to summarize our dataset so that we can find some answer or we can find some meaningful insight in our dataset. So first we are going to count each category inside each feature. And here you can see, so using the count plot under Seaborn, you can clearly see the career has 3 different categories. Then we can see citizenship, then nationality, then we have a primary program, gender, department, then we have housing type. So you can see here this view is a little bit disturbing, so let's try to in better format. So here you can see there are different nationalities are present. Mostly Singapore is present. Then let's see the primary program. You can see different programs. Then we can see different departments. So you can see the highest department is, so you can see the highest department count is social, School of Arts and Social Science, and then followed by School of Science. So this is how we can see the count of each category present in each feature of our dataset. So our problem statement is related to stress. So we are going to see what is the impact of each feature on stress. So we already see the different features in the first dataset. Let's compare our feature with stress. So what is the impact of our feature on stress? So at the first we are going to compare the career category and the different stress question answered by students. So we are going to find the count of students saying yes and no, so that we can compare the impact of career on stress. So when we compare career with the first question, that is stress about adjustment issue, and you can see the undergraduate students said that they are facing issue with the adjustment. Similarly, you can see stress about academic issue. Similarly, you can see the stress about financial issue, which is higher. You can see stress about family. Then we can see the stress about romantic relationship. Then stress about health related issues. Then we can see stress about career related issues. So you can see the undergraduate student have more stress about their career. Then you can see the stress about involvement in various events. And then you can see stress related to other categories. So you can see by performing this count plot, we can easily say that the more students under the category of undergraduate are stressed about their career related, then about their financial, and about their adjustment. So using this count plot with career as a feature, we can easily answer this question, what are the factors related to stress. Then the next feature is citizenship. Then we are going to see what is the impact of this feature on various stress. So first we are going to see the count. So country citizens are more. Then you can see they are having stress about adjustment issue. Then they are facing the financial issue. And then same the stress about career. So by analyzing this citizenship feature, we can easily say that students are more stressed about adjustment issue, then financial, and then the career related issue. So the next feature that we are going to compare with the stress is nationality. So we have different types of nationality. So we can see the Singapore is the highest in count. Since the most of the data is on the Singapore, so you can see the count of stress about the adjustment is high in the Singapore. Then same goes to career related. Then there is a stress about involvement in hostel, club, society. So you can see the impact of nationality on various stress. Then we are going to compare the primary program feature with different stress. So we have different programs. For example, we can see here under this category Bachelor of Art, the stress count is more. Then followed by Bachelor of Engineering, and then Bachelor of Science, followed by Business Admin. Then you can see the stress related to career. So you can see this count is too high when it comes to the Bachelor of Art. Similarly, you can see the different questions about stress and our feature. Then we are going to see the feature gender and impact of gender on various stress. Here we can see the stress count, the stress about financial issue, both are facing, male and female are facing same. But if you see the stress about career, so the female count is female count is higher than the male count. Then you can see the different stress, for example, health related, and then financial, and then adjustment issue. Similarly, we are going to see the impact of department on various stress. So here you can see the various stress and their counts. So the students, they are saying no, and the students, they are saying yes. And here you can see the financial issue, and here you can see the stress about career and related issue, which is too high. Similarly, we can see the housing type and stress related to that. So here we can see the housing type. So out of office students are having stress higher than the students are out of office, which has the financial issue. Similarly, you can see the career related issue and then their count. So we just saw the feature and impact of each individual feature on various stress. Then we are going to see the impact of participation with stress. Similarly, we are using count plot. Then we are going to answer the participation with different stress. So here you can see the participation in societies and interest group, and we can compare that with the various stress. So you can see the students are saying no is higher than the yes, and here you can see the different stress count, yes, no, and here you can see the different stress count about adjustment issue, financial issue, family issue, career related issue. Similarly, we are going to see the participation in club and the impact of that on stress. So you can see the different count. Similarly, we are going to see the participation impact on stress related to halls, JCRC or residential college CSC. And here you can see the different count. So just pause the video and analyze what is the impact. Similarly, we are going to see the participation of university organized event and the stress related to that. And here you can see the stress count. So when we carefully analyze this dataset, these survey questions meta, you can easily find that there are different categories other than yes, no. So we need to remove that. Otherwise, it is going to impact on our analysis. And here we can see we are filtering our dataset on this feature called participated in others, and the condition is like yes or no. So we are filtering that and we are assigning that to the dataset. So right now, our dataset is changed based on this condition, and we can see the dataset count is 2722. Then we are going to see now the participated in other and various stress count, and here you can see the different result. So we just compared the participation questions with stress. Next, we are going to compare the interest and stress. Here you can see the interest in arts and culture, and we are going to see the counts. So you can see the counts when it comes to the career and you have an interest in arts and culture, the count is yes. The count is high. And when it comes to the financial and other categories. Then we can also see the interest in science and technology and stress count. In similar way, interested in research and independent study and stress count. Then the next, interest in sport and various stress count. Then the next question is interested in other competition and the stress count. Then we are going to compare the interest in entrepreneurship against the stress count. And here you can see the most of the answers are said in no. So most of the students are not interested in entrepreneurship. Then interested in volunteering and the various stress. interest in others, and various stress counts. So we just compare the various interest and the stress counts. Then we are going to compare the passion with stress. So we have different questions about passion and we have a stress count. So first is passionate about animal welfare. So you can see the different counts. So no count is higher and yes count is lower. When we are comparing with the different stress, this is the different count. Then passionate about art, culture and heritage, and we can see the different stress counts. Then passionate about youth and children, and you can see the different count. Then passionate about community building and various stress count. So most of the students are not passionate about community building, but they are still stressed about various stresses. Then we are going to compare passionate about diversity and inclusion with various stress count. So the no count is still high and we can see the different stress count. Then we can see the passionate about environmental sustainability, and here we can see the stress count. Then the next, passionate about families and various stress counts. So you can see most of the students are not passionate about their families, and here you can see the various stress counts. Then passionate about health, well-being and various stress count. Similarly, passionate about seniors and the various stress. Then passionate about poverty reduction, and you can see the count. Then you can see the passionate about education. You can see the count is and the count of stress. Then you can see the passionate about none of the above and the stress. Then at the last we are going to see passionate about others and various stress. So you can see the passionate about others category has almost no. Then we are going to compare with the stress. So we just compare the passion with stress. Then at the last we are going to see the volunteering compared to stress. So we have these questions which are answered in numerical formats. That's where we are using the histogram rather than count plot. So on the x-axis we are plotting all the answered which are numerical. Then we are dividing that with the stress. Here you can see the result. I mean events the student is volunteered in. So 1, 2, 3, 4 till 10. And the student counts that they are saying they are under stress. So you can see then we are going to see the participation count and the stress. Next we can see the participation count with related to various stress. Then how many activities are you interested in and various stress count. Then you can see how many activities are you passionate about and various stress count. Then you can see what are your level of stress compared with the stress count. Then you can also see the how satisfied you are with your student life and then various stress. Then how much effort do you make to interact with others and various stress count. Then at the last we can see about events are you aware of and the various stress. So using data visualization, we just saw various stress and we compare that with the various features in our data set. So we can easily answer what is the stress that students are facing most under which category, and we can easily advise them based on that category. So the link of this notebook is present in the description section. So please go ahead and download this notebook and you can play around that. You can find more meaningful insight about this data set. Thank you everyone.